Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. I hope you're all doing well today. In today's episode, we have got two massive fixtures. We've got Southampton up first, who are fighting for Champions League places still. And then we've also got West Brom coming up as they're fighting against relegation. Us, on the other hand, we're sitting pretty mid-table still in 10th position. So we're not fighting for too much either way, but we want some good points on the board in today's episode. Now, since you were last here for the 3-game special, the 2-0 loss to Arsenal, the penalty win against Barnsley in the Carabao Cup, and the 2-1 loss to Villa, we've been a bit of a mixed bag, I've got to say. We started off with a 2-0 loss to Bournemouth. Just a poor result. Mersey got injured, Berlinger missed a penalty, and Venturelli got injured. A really bad game for us, but we have to build back from that. And we managed to do just that against Newcastle. Randy Deleu with the goal in the 30th minute to make sure we win it 1-0. A key 3 points on the board there after a run of games, actually 6 games in a row, or 5 league games in a row, sorry. 6 games in total, but 5 league games in a row. We hadn't won a game in the league, so that was a massive result for us, the 1-0 win there. We then travelled to Manchester, take on Manchester United, and what looked like a pretty close game in the first half got away for us in the second half as United went on to win 5-2. Abel, the only player of ours, getting on the score sheet. We had a goal from an own goal from a United player, but still, good play from us in the first half. Second half, though, we just weren't good enough. We then came up against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup 4th round. We drew 2-2 before winning it on penalties. My heart was in my mouth through this penalty shootout as it went to the 10th penalty taker. I was getting very worried at this point, but we managed to come out on top against Villa in the penalty shootout, just as we did against Barnsley in the 3rd round. So that was quite lucky for us. We've got United coming up in the quarter-final, but I doubt we're going to show that on an episode just because it doesn't really fit in with the schedule, and also I don't think we're going to win it. After the Villa game, though, we took on Derby County, and actually Abel and Howard Prosser scoring the goals before Mersey got sent off, and they scored a consolation goal in the 94th minute. But still, it was a pretty decent result for us. Mersey obviously 2 yellow cards, so he only missed the 1 game, and he missed the game against top-of-the-table Chelsea, which we only went and won, with Patrick scoring in the 75th minute. Again, I'm not quite sure why we lost 2-0 to Bournemouth, for example, struggle against them, but then go and beat top-of-the-table Chelsea 1-0 in what was a relatively comfortable game. There wasn't really much of a threat from Chelsea at all, so I'm not quite sure how we did it, but we did it, and I'm very pleased to say that Patrick scored the goal in that. He's played so well so far this season, so I'm pleased with him. Today then, obviously, Southampton and West Brom await us. Hopefully, some more 3 points on the way. We start off today, though, with transfer offers for Theo Taverney that have sort of come out of the blue. And they're at 5.7 million up front, with rising to 8.5 million. He's valued at 8.25 million. We can't negotiate any of them. I did look at negotiating some of them. We can't negotiate them, but I think they might be worth accepting because he's only 2.5-star current ability. His potential is only 3-star now, so he's not actually got Premier League potential anymore. We could use the wages, we could use the money we make from selling from him, and he's not actually played a Premier League game so far this season. He's come off the bench in other cup games and things like that, but he's not actually started or come off the bench in the Premier League. So, considering we only bought him for £1.3 million as well, I'm kind of happy to let him go for this kind of money. We're going to reject the offer from Club Brugge because they want us to pay 2.2k per week for his wages. I'm not dealing with that. We don't want that. So he's not going to go to Club Brugge. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stall on these 2 offers from Genoa and Nice, because I'm going to try and offer him out for £10 million. Let's offer him to clubs. Let's say 10 million, please. Take it or leave it. If other clubs come in and bid for £10 million for him, I'm happy to do it. If not, if no one comes in, I'm happy to sell him for the other price as well, actually, I've got to say. So that's kind of what my thought process is with that. But Theo Taverney will be leaving the club. We've not got much room in the transfer budget at all, or the wage budget, actually, I don't think. Stade Rennais and another club have come in with £10 million each, which we can't negotiate. But, as I say, we'll accept these 2 offers then, because I said I'll accept £10 million, which means we are going to reject these 2 offers at 8.5, or rising to 8.5 million pounds. But we will offer them out again, because if they quickly offered £10 million, let's try 15 million. See if we can send them £15 million. That'd be fantastic, and it gives us some transfer budget to play around with when we get through to January, because we haven't got much money left in the budget for January. So if we could get a bit of money in, that'd be great. By looks of things, though, no one else has come in for the £15 million bid for Theo Taverney. So £10 million is probably what we're going to get for him. And again, that's not a bad deal for us. Coming up first then is today's game against Southampton, and we've got a pretty unchanged, I think it's probably actually unchanged from last episode. It's Jose Pedro in goal with Garana, Delut, Telfer and Merza at the back. Venturelli, Prosser and Patrick in the middle with Christensen, Abel and Pomeroy as our attacking trio today. They've all been playing quite well, all been banging some goals as well, so not quite as many as last season for Pomeroy or Lee Phillip. They're not getting up to that 10 at the moment, but hopefully as we approach the second half of the season, they'll start to kick on a little bit, grab some more goals and things like that. That'll be quite good. But that's the lineup. That's what I'm pretty happy with. Southampton, 6th in the league at the moment, although I think they've just dropped down from like 3rd or 4th because we are kicking off on a Monday. So we have a last teams to play this game week. So I presume that's why they've dropped down a little bit, Southampton. But if they win today, they'll jump back up to 27 points. And depending on how many they win by, they could actually go up to 2nd, where West Ham are currently occupying. So Southampton having a really, really top quality season. If we can get a draw or a win against them, that would be huge for us. First highlight of the game though, looks like it's coming towards us in our green kit. Prosser shoots from distance and puts it just over the bar, but not a bad opportunity and a good chance. It's looking quite cagey actually. Like, that was the one highlight so far. It's been put over the bar. Other than that, not too many shots. Pretty close on possession as well. I think both teams are a little bit nervous. They both want to pick up the points. Obviously, Southampton need the points to stay in the top 4. We need the points, though, to stay in the top half and try and start to push towards Villa and Derby and things like that ahead of us, as Southampton do take the lead just before half-time from a well-worked free-kick routine. The ball comes in and Bruno, the guy who scores, he's just sort of let go by his defender as he races forward. Unfortunately, some really poor defending there from us and that's not the first time we've seen it, to be fair. We have been poor conceding from set pieces. I don't think our defenders are quite good enough at tracking players and things like that, and that is something we do need to work on quite a lot, I think, as we head into the break 1-0 down against Southampton. We'll hand it to the assistant manager, who does nothing. He does something the second time round, though, when he does his individual team talk. Says unlucky, seems motivated players out there, so hopefully that will reflect in the second half. If we can get a draw at this stage, again, as I say, I'll be very, very happy with things. I've got to say, the improvement we've made from last season has been drastic, really. I mean, we are only 7 points clear of West Brom in the relegation zone after 14 games, so it is still really close, but I think literally after the game week 3 or 4, we really were down 16th and below for the rest of the season. So we have made, as Pomeroy's free kick just wide the post, we have made a really big leap this season, which I'm really pleased with. Like, we have done phenomenally well, I've got to say. We need to go attacking, and we need to show some passion. I'm tempted actually to take Venturelli off and bring, again, I think we've done this quite a bit recently, but bring on, where is he? Lee Phillip on as another striker. Another option out there for us. A Pomeroy switches to the advanced forward role. I think Ryan Price has something to offer out there. Ryan Price will come on in the middle of the park, although he's looking a bit tired because he has, I think he played midweek for the under-23s, just to get some match fitness into him and things like that. That's one of the changes that we'll make. We'll bring him on the pitch like that. I think he deserves his chance. He has played a few games, I've got to say, for the first team recently. He's played the odd game, but probably not as much as he should have done. He did ask for some first team football, and we said we'd give it to him, but I don't think we're actually on track to complete that promise yet, which is frustrating. Garana's picked up a knock. We don't want to risk him too much, so we need to bring on the pitch. I was going to say Tourette, but he's not on the bench, is he? And there's no one else to really play at left back. So Garana, you're sort of stuck there, I'm afraid, for the final 10 minutes as Southampton looking to come forward again. Let's get a tackle in, boys. We don't get a tackle in. It hits the post, bounces off the back of the goalkeeper and goes out for a corner. We've escaped there massively, I've got to say. We really have escaped. As the corner comes in, Patrick clears it. Is Pomeroy or Phillip going to chase it? It's Lee Phillip, number 9, isn't he? But no, it goes out for a throw-in. That is probably going to be that. Push forward. That's all I'm going to say. Push forward. Very attacking. Why are we frustrated? Oh, that's not us. I was going to say, why is everyone frustrated by that? Only Delu's fired up by that feedback, actually, which is a bit annoying. But as the game comes to its close, you hate to see it, unfortunately. You hate to see it. But Southampton do win this game 1-0. I did think they were going to win it on the ground that they've had a fantastic start to the season. And their win against us today puts them in 3rd position in the league. They're a top 4 side at the moment, so what do we expect? Goalless Pomeroy worries Lincoln United. I've got to say, I'm a little bit worried about him as well. 10 hours of football without finding the net now. Pomeroy, he's not been the reliable striker that we need. And actually, now that I've seen that statistic, I think next time out we swap him out with Lee Phillip, I reckon. I think Lee Phillip deserves a chance. Also, just notice as well that Randy DeLu is suspended for the next game against West Brom because he has 5 yellow cards this season. So we're going to have to bring on Brilinger instead for him next game. Question is, will Theo Taverney still be at the club for the next game against West Bromwich Albion? Because obviously he's got some £10 million bids on the table. And if they're going to pay that kind of money for Theo Taverney, he's off. Like, I'm not joking. He is off. Although I don't know why I would be joking about that. I assume you don't think I'm joking because you know that we're not using him and he's not actually the player that we thought he was when we signed him originally. So actually, I mean, the joke would be actually probably keeping him rather than selling him. And in today's episode, where I seem to be saying, you hate to see it, Lincoln City have sacked their manager. So Lincoln City, how are they doing? 14th in League One. Come on, boys. We are better. I wanted to get Lincoln City as a feeder club so we could give them some players and things like that. But unfortunately, we've not been allowed to do that. I might try again, actually, because we've got Boston United as a feeder club. But we're going to try it again. Right, networking. We don't want an affiliate. We want a feeder. Wait, affiliates. Yeah, we should look for affiliate to send out players on loan. And they're saying our youth team is doing fine. No, I just want Lincoln City as a feeder club, basically. The world of difference. Okay. So I said it was a world of difference playing youth football to men's football, and he said yes. So I'd love to get involved with the selection of an affiliate club. Hopefully, we'll be able to get Lincoln City. Whilst we're here as well, though, with the board, can we increase youth level? Let's try, because we've just got our youth and training facilities upgraded again, but they're both only like adequate or average, so it's still not very good. Straight away he said yes to the youth academy being improved, so that's really good, and we'll ask for improved training facilities as well, and again they said yes to that, and it's all because there's Premier League money, which is really, really good. So what we can do now is we can now go into this, choose a club to pick as our affiliate club. Now any club from this list, they automatically say yes to, I believe. At least that's my experience of it. So we have got some League One clubs there, but Lincoln City aren't there. But we can still find Lincoln City, and we still can choose an affiliate up here. We'll confirm that, and hopefully in the next few days, after we've got confirmation of facilities being upgraded, hopefully in the next few days before the West Brom game, we'll either have, yes, Lincoln City are your new feeder club, or no deal has been able to be struck. I hope a deal can be done, though. Oh, and there we go. The club directors have informed you that, unfortunately, they failed to make a deal with Lincoln regarding a possible affiliation. You hate to see it. Another thing you hate to see in today's episode is Abel gets third in Young Player of the Month in the Premier League. That's pretty decent. You love to see that. There we go. There's something you love to see. You love to see Abel getting third in Young Player of the Month. Oh, and another thing that you love to see, the board have just made £12 million available for us to spend in the transfer window, which is really good because I think we only had about 1.5 million to spend. So that extra 12 million, plus a bit of money from Theo Taverney that comes in, or should come in at some point, that's potentially 22 million we can spend in January, and I think we're going to need to spend it first and foremost on another defender to sort of replace Taverney, but we desperately need a young winger on either side to sort of act as backup to the wingers that we've got, because there's no cover there at the moment and they're both getting really tired, Abel and Christiansen. Right then, so apparently Brilinger is injured, only for 1 to 4 days, and DeLu is suspended. So actually, it's a good job we still got Theo Taverney, because he's got to come in to the side today, which means Turiak and Donker make their way onto the bench to replace those suspended and injured players. Other than that, I kind of want to take Garana off, but there's no way we can really start with Turek, I'm afraid. So I think they're the only changes that we're going to make for today's lineup. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today at the Keith Alexander Stadium. We're still playing in Lincoln City Stadium. There's still nothing we can do about getting a new stadium. I asked over summer, they kept saying no. I keep asking every now and again, and they just keep saying no. Someone mentioned in the comment section that he reckons it's inbuilt in the game that you can't get a new stadium within 15 years of having a new one, sort of thing, or 15 seasons. Which, I don't know if that's true or not, because I've never had the experience of having to have a new stadium within 15 years of building a new one, sort of thing. So I really don't know if that's true or not, but it potentially could be. It makes sense in terms of money, because why do you build a new stadium and then have to build a new one 5 seasons later? Like, it doesn't make much money sense. So I can see that being a thing in the game, but I don't know. I'll keep asking. As we get better and better every season, I'll keep asking and things like that. But for the time being, we're still in Lincoln City's stadium, which I don't mind seeing, actually. I don't mind seeing that. Free kick for us, though. Michael Pomeroy to take it. Oh, it's a great free kick, to be fair. The keeper has to make a really good save there. West Brom, you'd hope to see on the back foot in today's game, actually, because West Brom are right down, down in 17th right now. They're drawing with us to go ahead of Cardiff, actually, or Watford as things stand. But we need to making sure we pick up some points to stay away from Manchester City, of all teams. City, who have been winning the title in recent years, have been in the Champions League in recent years. I think they are in the Champions League this season, are having a torrid time in the Premier League at the moment and sit behind us in 11th. So really, we need to try and capitalise on this and try and take Man City's space in the top half of the table. Not the greatest of first halves, though. It was pretty cagey, really not much going on whatsoever. We need to get a win here today to make up for the loss in the last game. Now, we've just won a free kick, and I think their man might have just been sent off for it. It's a straight red card for this guy, Imje Chul, for West Brom, which you love to see. So we're going to go very attacking, and we're going to say, get creative out there. We need to try and capitalise on West Brom being down to 10 men. They've only got one attacking outlet now. They're sitting on 2 banks of 4, but we have to try and get forward now. We need to make the most of this. If we can't score now, this could be a really missed opportunity come the end of the season, which I don't want to miss out on. We have to take these chances. We have to do well with them. There's a free kick, though, for West Brom, and they've won a penalty for it. Okay, apparently Mirza pushes Hatton. And despite being down to 10 men, West Brom could be about to take the lead against us. Which they do. I don't want to say it again, lads. I don't want to say it again. But you hate to see it. Right, so now we've got our work cut out, haven't we? We've really got our work cut out. We're gonna go for the usual. Let's bring Lee Phillip on up front. I said I was going to start him, didn't I? I didn't start him. Lee Phillip, what does he like to do as a advance forward? You do that. Pomeroy says a pressing forward. Howard Prosser, come off for Price. Well, there's nothing really we can do. There's not many players who come off the bench. We've got a really solid starting lineup, I reckon, this season. We just now need to work on the backups and the covers and things like that. Hopefully it will happen at some point, but ball forward isn't the... Well, actually it's quite good because West Brom do win it, but Telford puts the ball up towards Lee Phillip. Lee Phillip can't win it. Lad, do better than that. We need to win this game. We need to get a point out of this game now at this stage. You really... Come on, lads. We know we can do it. We know we're good enough. But clearly West Brom's sitting parking the bus pretty much, aren't they? That's what West Brom are doing. They will be parking the buses. Jose Pedro is forced to make a really good save there, actually. That was a great shot from the West Brom player. Their resulting corner comes in. Their number 9 to put the ball into the area. Cleared by Pomeroy. Only as far as the West Brom player, which bounces clear his shot. And again, we managed to get rid of the cross in the end. As the clock ticks down, Pomeroy with a free kick. Can't save us with his free kicks. Lads, I'm really not happy with the way we're playing here today. I mean, considering that we should be taking advantage of them having 10 men, they've absolutely done a blinder, haven't they? They've pulled the blinder, they've got the penalty, they've just sat back and defended, and we haven't quite got the quality to get ahead of them, although Pomeroy hasn't got the quality either. We've got one final chance now from this free kick. With 20 seconds or so to go. Patrick on the ball. Into Price. Price back to Patrick. Up towards Michael Pomeroy. He can't win the ball. West Brom to clear it. We give away a free kick. That has got to be that now. This is not a result I look back on fondly at all. I don't know. I think we played well against Southampton, but Southampton are the better side. They are a top 4 side, so understandable that they went out to beat us. It's this West Brom game that I'm really frustrated about because down to 10 men... We should have done better. Lee Phillips now played 8 goals without finding the back of the net. Both our strikers are out of form. And that's a situation where it's like, oh, right, what do we do now then? January's not too far away. We could look to try and get a really good striker in on loan from somewhere, but that is probably easier said than done. We've got some decisions and dilemmas to face up against as we enter into January. Next episode then, I think... Liverpool, Leicester, Brighton, Man City. I reckon we go for Leicester and Brighton because they're probably 2 winnable games, all right? At least I hope they are. It's towards the end of the January transfer window as well, so we can start to get some early stuff in. You can see a bit of it, and then the episode after that I can reveal to you even more signings, maybe. You never know. But I reckon Leicester and Brighton will make a good episode next time out. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.